Oh, look at the lift on this. What a mean machine. No, just joking. We've just been out on the tracks. We've done a few trips here and there, and quite regularly when we use the vehicle for trips a lot, we do a post-trip inspection. And that's what we're doing now. You probably, if you've been watching the videos on 4x4 Touring Australia, you will know that this tyre is flat because it's got a hole in it. Got a big slash in the middle of the sidewall there. Alright, from a rock on Burgoynes. Anyway, we're going to put it up on the hoist. Let's just have a quick look actually under the bonnet, seeing as we're here. And I've just gone through, again, yeah, you know, we come back, quick clean up, you know, a bit of degrease, a bit of sponge and soapy water, a bit of a pressure washer, bit of a clean up, because, you know, we want to see what's what with things. Okay, and a quick spray under the bonnet as well. We haven't done extensive taking the cover off, getting those bugs out, but you know, brake fluid looks good. Had a quick look in the airbox. Even the dirty side doesn't look too bad, so that's good. What else did we do? Check the oil level. Made sure the compressor's secure. Coolant level looks good. Oil level was good. Just a quick look at battery security, connections, whatever. What I did actually find, I've got my automatic transmission diff breather now. Not a manifold, not a big thing, but just the automatic transmission I've extended up from the back of the bell housing down there up to here. So just a bit of hose, a joiner, and just extended up using the original breather up to there. But what had happened, that slid down into the corrugated split tubing I've got there. So I just redid that. I put a zip tie there so it can't go into the corrugated split tubing anymore. And I re-zip tied the corrugated split tubing onto the wiring loom there. So just tidied that up. Just having a look at everything else, making sure no, you know, fuel lines are rubbing on covers because they have a habit with these fuel filters there. Right, this is more of a trip, post-trip inspection, so it's not like a full service type inspection. It's just a quick look. Let's put the vehicle up on the hoist and have a look what we can find underneath after giving it a hammering in the high country. Alright, so it's up in the air. Drop it down onto the safety and let's get under there and have a look, see what we can find. Might as well start from the front. The post-trip inspection doesn't happen after every trip. Just after a few or a bigger trip or a few smaller trips together, we're just sort of looking for any oil leaks, deterioration, anything loose, any sticks that are in anywhere, any leaks that have started at the CV boots because we hit a stick or something like that. Any rubbing or zip ties that have gone missing like that. Bloody ARB, you know, they just run those wires anywhere when they do those lockers, don't they? You know, it's just sitting there. That's alright. I don't know if there's meant to be a zip tie there, but it's not going anywhere. There's a zip tie just up there. Bloody dodgy, mate, I tell you. I wish they'd just run those a bit neater, and it's too short for me to fix it up now, isn't it? So, let's have a look at these bushes. It's really more of a service thing doing that. Oh, look at all that, you know, when you hammer them, oh, look at that. Rough Trax hammering those bushes, mate. When it's the front ones, it's more the tracks. The back ones more the flexing, and they split. So the back ones are looking good. Just these front ones, have a look at them. They've just taken absolute punishment on the tracks. Anyway, that's okay. Bash plate, you can see a few marks on it. The K-on bash plate, but rock solid, so you don't have to worry about that. That's what it's there for. The arms look pretty good. Struts or coilovers. The new alternator still looking good. Clamps with the auto lines are still there. Tyres, plenty of meat still. But as you know, they're really good for on-road. They're getting replaced. I'm going back to BFGs. I had enough after that flat tyre. Not happening. Bone dry in there, which is what we like to see. That sweat on the bottom of the boot, pretty standard on a lot of vehicles, particularly, you know, including the Prados, whatever. Upper ball joint looks good. Lower ball joint was new on the new arms a couple 100,000 Ks ago. There's nothing to see here. Starter motor, oil, anything up around there? No. Vacuum lines, engine mounts, everything looks good. No oil under the engine mounts. Sump looks good, pan's never been off, everything works the way it's meant to. You can see the old cracked gasket. I'll pull it off one day, but it's R&D, you know, just leaving it there. R&TU. We might change this uni joint at some stage because they do get some wear in them. Once I put the camera down, I can move things around. Brakes are still like new. They got replaced recently with those Bendix ones we're trying out. You know, so far so good. They've got a bit of a, they don't squeal, they've got a bit of a graunchy thing towards the stop. Okay, we might lube the driveline while it's up, just checking for oil leak. Because see that bit of, see that splatter of oil? It looks like oil, doesn't it? So what's that coming off? That does look a lot like oil. See that? See that? That's, what is it? I don't know what that is, to be quite honest. Look, and it's splattered all the way down. And that's why I've got the vehicle up. See all that splatter on the diff? I don't know what that is at this stage. But I do note when I was giving the, because we, you know, hose out the underbody, just a lot of water. I do note that, you know, I saw this splatter and what looked like oil. But I'm not seeing any oil leaks. Now this is that join we talk about. Again, this one's nearly 400,000 Ks. See what I mean about that sweat mark there? So I'm not going to worry about cleaning and doing the quick oil leak fix that works. But you know, you need to watch, there's other videos that explain the situation there. It's not an area that's filled with oil. This is the transfer case. This is the transmission. It's just the front seal in the transfer case most likely. Leak, it's not a leak, you know, but some are worse than others, but they're still not leaks that are worth fixing. What I'm more concerned about is where this oil splatter come from, right? You're seeing what I'm talking about? There's a little bit on the muffler, it's on the tail shaft. You know, it's kind of could be grease, but there's no oil coming out of there. There's no oil coming out of the front of the transfer case, that's bone dry. There's nothing coming from the auto, there's nothing coming from the engine. Unless we hit something on the road that was wet and sticky and oily. Because it seems to be, there's nothing from here. Right, so see this cross member, it's got nothing on it except sandblasting. Right. It's just grease stains up there. It's kind of like, got me. Right, you can see it's on the chassis. That's a lot of that on the chassis. That's your grease from your, you know, tail shaft. That splatter there, I'm really, to be quite honest, I'm not too sure what's going on. And this splatter under the fuel tank here. It must be something. There is a bit of sort of a grease kind of thing. Kind of like, so it could be, yeah, I don't know. It's just bizarre, isn't it? Anyway, let's just finish checking over this vehicle. I'm not going to keep you much longer. I'm going to fix up that little dent in the boot there, but the boots are still good. They've been going for what, about 3 years now. They get dents in them from rocks, but you just pop it back out kind of thing. If I could put this light down, you just kind of go like that. See, nothing wrong with it. You just go like that. All right. They just get dented in from rocks to slam them, obviously, just like the rest of the vehicle. You can see the slight rust, surface rust. That's because I've just washed it down literally yesterday. You can see the bottom bolts have been hammered, never been replaced. Might replace them one day. You can see the Dobinson's rear monotube remote reservoirs that have been in 3 years, no leaks. Because what you do is you wait a couple of years. I'm not trying to sell you remote reservoirs, you don't need them, but just saying, you know, if you go for, as soon as they come out, you want to be the first to have everything, you could have problems. No leaks here, nothing at the brake pads. We're going to have a good bit further look around under this vehicle, but what I can see at the moment is, straight after a trip, you get an idea of how clean it should be. It only takes 10 minutes with a hose to stick it up, upside down, underneath, up under here, and let all that mud, and you can see the stain that's still there, right? But look, you know, you can even see there's even still a rock in there. I'll get that rock out, that's what I mean. Things like that, that's what we're looking for. Just little bits and pieces that's not really going to cause any problem, but sometimes they can. Tyres are still good, but they're going. It's probably the last time you're going to see them, so say goodbye. Fuel hose is good, no leaks. See, it's what you want, just a good, reliable vehicle. No problems. You can take it out on the tracks, give it a hammering. You can see the diff drags a little bit on things, you know. You get that. Give it a good hammering, but a good looking after, and it evens itself out. And there's nothing to see here, guys, other than this weird. If you got any ideas in the comments, if you got any ideas, you know, just think I may have thought of that before you know. Oh, it could be just spraying out of the tail shaft, or it could be something that got hit by one of the front tyres and sort of just sprayed it everywhere. I'll just give you a bit of a picture how it is, right? So it's on the diff a bit. It's on the fuel tank. It's sort of from the midway. It is kind of from here. If I had to guess, I would have said, oh, the transfer case still's leaking, but you can see it's bone dry. There's no leak there. and there's nothing behind that slip joint there. So maybe that slip joint sprayed some grease out somehow, but you can see it's got plenty of lube in there. That's how we roll, but wouldn't have thought that much. But anyway, we'll give this all a big clean up and a lube and a finish checking the rest of the vehicle. If we find anything else, I'll let you know. Thanks for watching. These are the sorts of things you might just want to have a quick check. You don't have to put it on a hoist. You can just stick your head underneath and just have a check. Make sure you've got no oil leaks, deterioration, stuff like that. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, turn the bell on. More touring, scenery, track information coming your way soon.